Human protagonist, Captain Alex Ryder, being assigned to a medical research station on the distant planet Lyra 9. The station is famous for experimenting with alien genetics and medical technologies. Alex is slightly nervous because he has never met the alien staff before. The planet is known for its advanced alien species, some of whom are rumored to be sensitive to human presence. The suspense builds as Alex enters the medical bay for the first time. Strange bioluminescent lights reflect off the walls. Instruments hum with unknown energy. He notices shadows moving, but there's no one there yet. Suddenly a figure appears, an alien nurse named Naira. She has shimmering emerald skin, delicate wings that shimmer like glass, and eyes that seem to see into Alex's soul. She is startled by his presence. Alex is immediately struck by her beauty and calm demeanor despite her alien form. The air between them feels tense but electric. Alex is assigned to assist Naira with a complicated medical procedure involving hybrid alien DNA. The procedure is risky, and the station's alarms go off intermittently, adding tension. As Alex carefully hands her instruments, he notices a color-shifting uniform she wears. Without thinking, he says, "You look perfect in this color." Naira freezes mid-motion, almost dropping the instruments. Her reaction is unexpected. Her kind rarely shows emotion outwardly. Alex realizes he has broken. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Captain Alex Ryder stepped off the small shuttle and onto the surface of Lyra 9. The air smelled faintly metallic, and the sky shimmered with green and purple hues. He had never been here before, but he had heard stories. This planet was home to the most advanced alien medical research station in the galaxy. Humans rarely came here, and those who did often left with stories that sounded like myths. Alex adjusted his uniform and walked toward the station. The entrance was made of a glowing alloy that pulsed slightly, almost like it was alive. He felt a chill as he stepped inside. The main corridor was quiet. Lights on the walls shifted color slowly from blue to violet to green. Strange humming sounds filled the air. Alex's footsteps echoed as he made his way deeper into the station. He passed doors with strange symbols etched on them. A sense of anticipation and fear grew inside him. He had been trained for dangerous missions, but this felt different. This was not combat, not a war zone. This was alien territory, and everything here was unknown. He reached the medical bay. The doors slid open silently, revealing a large room filled with equipment that he could barely recognize. Glass tubes with glowing liquids lined the walls. Instruments hovered in midair as if moved by invisible hands. He noticed a faint movement at the far end of the room. His heart skipped a beat. Something was there, but it did not look human. A figure stepped forward. She was tall, elegant, and her skin shimmered like emerald glass. Wings, delicate and translucent, extended from her back. Her eyes were large, round, and a deep shade of violet that seemed to pierce into Alex's mind. She was dressed in a uniform that shifted color slowly, blending with the room's lighting. Alex froze for a moment. He had expected aliens to be strange, but she was beautiful in a way that words could not describe. She froze too. Her eyes widened as she looked at him. Her hands trembled slightly. Alex felt a strange connection, a tension in the air that made it hard to breathe. He reminded himself to stay calm. He was a human trained for unpredictability. He took a step forward and said, "Hello, I'm Captain Alex Ryder. I'm here to assist with the research." The alien nurse blinked rapidly. I am Naira," she said in a melodic voice that carried a strange echo. Her tone was calm, but her body betrayed nervousness. She motioned for him to follow her deeper into the room. Alex watched as she moved gracefully between the glowing instruments. She stopped in front of a workstation that had a large, pulsating device at its center. A container on the device held a small creature, half organic, half machine, its body twitching as if alive. Naira glanced at Alex. "You will assist me," she said. "This procedure is delicate. One mistake and the specimen could die." Alex nodded. He had handled delicate situations before, but nothing like this. He stepped forward carefully, picking up a hovering instrument that floated toward him. Naira's eyes flicked to the tool, then back at him. He handed it to her. "Here," he said, trying to sound confident. Her hand brushed his for a moment as she took it. The air seemed to spark. Naira froze, blinking rapidly. Alex noticed a slight tremor in her body. Without thinking, he said, "You look perfect in this color." Time seemed to stop. Naira's mouth opened slightly and her wings fluttered nervously. She almost dropped the instrument. Alex's heart raced. He had not expected such a reaction. He quickly added, "I mean the uniform, it suits you very well." Naira stepped back, regaining her composure. "It is acceptable," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Her eyes darted around the room, avoiding his. Alex realized he had broken some unspoken rule. Humans were blunt, direct, and sometimes careless with words. He had no idea that what he said could have such an effect. The procedure began. Alex watched as Naira carefully injected a glowing serum into the hybrid specimen. Her movements were precise, almost dance-like. The creature's body shifted, glowing faintly, and Alex felt a strange hum in the air. It was as if the room itself was alive. He handed her tools, followed her instructions, and tried to stay focused despite the tension that seemed to thicken the air. Suddenly an alarm sounded. Red lights flashed. The hybrid's container vibrated violently. Naira froze, her wings fluttering rapidly. Alex rushed to help stabilize it. Together they worked to calm the creature, adjusting its environment and administering a counter-serum. The suspense was palpable. Every second felt stretched, every movement crucial. As they worked, Alex noticed Naira stealing glances at him, her eyes wide, almost fearful. He wondered why she reacted that way. Was it fear, admiration, or something else entirely? The audience would feel the suspense too, wondering what human traits could make an alien react so strongly. The procedure lasted hours. Alex learned to anticipate Naira's movements, to pass her instruments before she even asked, to read her subtle signals. He realized that their teamwork, though new, was instinctive. She trusted him, and he respected her. The tension between them was not just professional, it was something more, something neither of them fully understood yet. Then, without warning, another alarm blared. This one was louder, more urgent. The room's lights shifted violently. And a warning flashed on the main screen. "Containment breach, hybrid specimen escaped." Naira's eyes widened in shock. She grabbed Alex's arm. "You must come with me," she said urgently. Her voice trembled and her wings flared slightly, betraying fear. Alex followed her through hidden doors that led to a long, narrow corridor. The lights above flickered as strange shadows danced along the walls. Alex tried to catch his breath. "Where are we going?" he asked, but Naira did not answer. She moved swiftly, leading him deeper into the station. The audience could feel the suspense building. What kind of creature had escaped, and why was Naira so frightened? They reached a reinforced glass door. Beyond it, the hybrid specimen moved, its body larger than before, its limbs twitching unpredictably. It had intelligence in its eyes, almost human-like cunning. It noticed Alex and Naira and let out a low, guttural sound. The creature pressed against the glass, testing its strength. Naira stumbled slightly, her body quivering. Alex reached out instinctively, steadying her. The audience could feel the tension between safety and danger, between fear and attraction. Naira's reaction to Alex's touch was subtle but noticeable. She had been trained to maintain composure, but his presence unsettled her in ways neither of them fully understood. The hybrid thrashed against the containment field and sparks flew from the equipment. The room shook. Alex realized that if the containment failed, the station could be destroyed. He looked at Naira, who was biting her lip nervously. "We need to stabilize it," he said firmly. She nodded, taking a deep breath, her body calming slightly. Alex watched as she carefully adjusted the containment controls. The hybrid's thrashing slowed, but it was not completely subdued. He handed her the instruments she needed, his hands steady despite the fear gnawing at his chest. Together they worked in tense silence, the only sounds the alarms and the hybrid's low growls. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the hybrid calmed. The containment field stabilized and the alarms stopped. Naira leaned against the wall, catching her breath. Alex noticed her wings droop slightly, a sign of exhaustion. She looked at him, eyes wide, as if seeing him for the first time in a different light. "You did well," she said softly, her voice almost human in its warmth. Alex smiled faintly, realizing they had survived not just the procedure, but the first real test of their teamwork. But the tension did not fully dissipate. Alex noticed shadows moving outside the glass walls of the lab, strange shapes that did not belong to the hybrid. Naira's eyes flicked to them and she stiffened. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. Whatever secrets this station held, they were far from fully revealed. Naira took a step closer to him, lowering her voice. "The station holds many dangers you do not yet understand," she said, "and this is only the beginning." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. He realized that on Lyra 9, survival depended not just on skill, but on trust, intuition, and understanding the alien mind. And as he looked at Naira, he understood that some bonds formed under extreme circumstances were deeper than any training or protocol could prepare him for. The last image of Part 1 lingered in Alex's mind. The hybrid specimen, contained but intelligent, staring at him through the glass, and Naira, her body trembling slightly, wings flickering, looking at him with a mixture of fear and something else he could not yet name. Alex felt the tension still in his chest as he followed Naira through the hidden corridors of the research station. The hybrid specimen was contained, but he could feel the unease in the air. Shadows flickered along the walls, cast by strange glowing panels that shifted color in irregular patterns. Naira's wings fluttered nervously behind her. Her body remained tense, and Alex realized that the danger had not ended with the hybrid's capture. Something else lingered in the station, something unseen but powerful. They reached a secondary control room, small and filled with monitors displaying different sections of the station. One screen showed the hybrid in containment, still glowing faintly. Another showed empty corridors with doors sliding open and shut automatically. Naira pressed a panel and a map of the station appeared. "The station is larger than it seems," she said, her voice soft but urgent. "There are areas humans are not allowed to enter. Many secrets are hidden here." Alex leaned over the map. "Secrets like the hybrid we just contained?" he asked. Naira shook her head slightly. "Worse," she said. "The hybrid is only one experiment. There are others, experiments that were never meant to leave the lab." Her eyes flicked to him, and for a moment he saw fear pure and raw. Alex realized that survival would require more than courage. He would need to understand the alien mind, their instincts, and their ways of sensing the world. He also realized that Naira trusted him, more than he expected. That trust was dangerous and comforting at the same time. Suddenly, a loud alarm sounded again. Red lights flashed across the room. A containment breach had occurred in another lab. Alex and Naira exchanged a quick glance. Without a word, they moved toward the corridor leading to the new alarm. Every step they took was cautious, their senses alert. The station seemed alive, humming and vibrating under their feet. As they approached the lab, Naira whispered, "We need to act carefully. The creatures in this lab are intelligent and unpredictable." Alex nodded. He had handled dangerous creatures before, but nothing like this. They reached the reinforced door. Through the glass, Alex could see shapes moving, tall, wiry and strange. Their limbs seemed too long, their eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. Naira placed her hands on the control panel. "We must stabilize them before they break through the containment field," she said. Her wings fluttered nervously. Alex stepped closer, ready to assist. He handed her instruments as she adjusted the controls. The creatures moved faster, pressing against the containment field with strength that made the glass tremble. Alex noticed Naira stealing glances at him, her eyes wide and almost pleading. He realized that her reactions were tied to emotions humans could not fully understand. Her species was sensitive, and his presence, his words, and even his calmness affected her in ways he could not see. When he handed her the next instrument, she almost fainted but caught herself. He remembered the first moment he complimented her uniform and understood why she had reacted so strongly before. Together they worked in silence. The audience could feel the suspense growing, wondering if they would succeed. Every adjustment Naira made was precise. Every move Alex took was careful. Slowly the creatures calmed, retreating to the far corners of their containment. Alex let out a quiet breath, feeling a rush of relief, but the tension in the station had not dissipated. Naira turned to him. "You are different from humans I have encountered," she said. "You do not frighten me in the way others do. You remain calm when others would panic." Alex smiled faintly. "Maybe it is because I have to survive no matter what," he said. Her eyes softened. The audience could feel the unspoken connection growing between them. But the danger was far from over. A sudden tremor shook the station. Lights flickered and a low rumble echoed through the corridors. Alex and Naira looked at each other, understanding immediately. Something was coming, something powerful. They moved quickly through the corridors, following the station's emergency pathways. Alex asked Naira, "Why are your species so sensitive to words and colors?" She hesitated, then said, "We are healers. Our emotions are linked to our abilities. Words can calm or distress us. Colors can strengthen or weaken us. Your words earlier, they affected me deeply. I nearly lost control." Alex nodded, understanding for the first time how dangerous his compliment had been, yet how it had also created a bond between them. They reached the central hub where the main lab systems were located. The station's security panels flashed warnings. One of the containment fields was failing. Alex saw the hybrid they had stabilized earlier twitch violently, but it remained in place. Naira's hands flew over the control panels, her fingers moving in ways that Alex could barely follow. He assisted where he could, holding instruments, pressing buttons, and stabilizing secondary systems. The hybrid let out a low, intelligent growl. It knew something was wrong. Alex noticed that it was observing him and Naira, almost as if it could sense their thoughts. The audience could feel the suspense and fear rising. The hybrid was not just a creature, it was aware, capable of strategy and dangerous. Naira glanced at Alex. "We must work together," she said. "I cannot do this alone." Alex nodded. He realized that survival was now not just about skill, it was about trust. He followed her instructions carefully, and slowly they managed to stabilize the hybrid. It calmed, its glowing body dimming slightly. For a moment, silence fell over the lab. Alex and Naira stood side by side, breathing heavily. Their eyes met, and for the first time the tension between them shifted. It was no longer just fear and danger. There was a bond, unspoken but real. Naira's wings fluttered softly and she stepped closer to him. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved me and them." Alex shook his head. "We saved each other," he said. Her eyes widened and she gave a small smile. The audience could feel the warmth growing between them, even in the midst of danger. But the station's dangers were not finished. A new alarm sounded, different from the others. It was high-pitched, urgent, and filled with an energy that made the air vibrate. Naira's eyes widened. "This is something we were not prepared for," she said. Alex felt a chill. He realized that the station held secrets even she feared to confront. They moved toward the source of the alarm. The corridor was dark, illuminated only by flashing red lights. Strange noises echoed around them. Alex held his hand out to Naira, and she took it instinctively. Their hands touched, and he felt a subtle warmth, a connection that seemed to strengthen them both. They reached a large chamber. Inside, a massive hybrid creature stood, larger and more powerful than anything they had encountered. Its body shimmered with energy, its eyes glowing with intelligence and malice. The audience could feel the danger. The stakes were higher than ever. Alex and Naira worked quickly. He distracted the creature while she adjusted the containment systems. The hybrid lunged at him, fast and unpredictable. Alex dodged, barely avoiding its claws. Naira's hands moved rapidly, sending beams of stabilizing energy that slowed the creature. Sparks flew, and the chamber shook violently. Alex realized that the hybrid was not mindless. It anticipated their moves, tested their reactions, and exploited weaknesses. He focused, using his human intuition to predict its attacks, while Naira's alien abilities stabilized it. Together, they formed a perfect team, balancing human cunning with alien precision. Finally, with a coordinated effort, they subdued the hybrid. The energy around it dimmed, and it collapsed to the ground, contained but alive. Alex and Naira collapsed against a wall, exhausted but victorious. The audience could feel the tension release, but also understand that the bond between them had deepened through shared danger and trust. Naira looked at Alex, her eyes softer now, no longer tense. "You are remarkable," she said. "Not only for your skill but for your courage and your heart." Alex smiled. "I only do what I must to survive," he said. She stepped closer and her wings brushed against him gently. The connection was undeniable. As they left the chamber, Alex noticed the station around them. Strange shadows moved beyond the walls, suggesting that their challenges were not over. Naira glanced at him. "This station has secrets still hidden," she said, "and we will need to face them together." Alex nodded, ready for whatever came next. The final scene of part 2 showed the hybrid in containment, its eyes following Alex and Naira as they walked away. Outside the lab, shadows flickered, suggesting that the station's mysteries were far from over. The audience is left with suspense, wonder, and curiosity about what new dangers, discoveries, and bonds awaited the human and the alien nurse. Even in the strange and dangerous world of Lyra 9, Alex realized that human qualities, courage, trust, and empathy, could bridge gaps between species. And as he looked at Naira, he knew that this was only the beginning of an extraordinary adventure.